It's really fascinating because I try not to get too intellectual. I wish I could do those air quotes. Anyway, I try not to get too intellectual when I'm up on stage talking to people for my daily routine as a motivational speaker. But one of the things that sounds intellectual, which actually is the really opposite because it's so simple, was something that was pointed out to me, and I'm not name dropping now, but I was working for an executive management association in the UK. And I met a guy who clearly was very successful. I mean, he was driving a $175,000 sports car. And I had to comment. I said, wow, nice car. He goes, yeah, I've been very successful in my life. And at the end of the day, it's because I learned from people like you to keep it simple. And that was really interesting. And I said, what would be a really good example? And he said, when I was reviewing your material before I hired you, it occurred to me you're following a principle that Jack Canfield. Now, if you don't know who Jack Canfield is, that would be the person, along with Mark Victor Hansen, who were the brains behind the Chicken Soup for the Soul series. But Mark Victor Hansen didn't write as good a book as Jack Canfield did when he wrote Success Principles. And in Success Principles, there is apparently a reference, which I don't remember ever reading, even though I read the book, called E plus or minus R equals O. Now, what that is code for is E stands for the event, plus or minus is positive or negative response, equals O, which is the outcome. Now, just let that sink in for a minute, because it sounds a little bit maybe oversimplistic or maybe too obvious and maybe something you'd hear from a motivational speaker. But that's not the point. The point is I've been using that methodology in my entire life, and I didn't even know I was using it. Okay, the event, being born without arms. The response, I choose to be positive because being negative never ever did anything positive for me. The outcome has always, it seems to be the same. My success in life, my marriage, my family, everything in my life seems to have gone so well, not perfect because no one's got one of those, because every time I am faced with an event, I try to take a positive attitude and I get a positive outcome. You should try it. It really does work.